Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time. Some say that Tom is like a giant among men. Others say he's a little obsessed.
I don't even have a top 10.
Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time.
Hey folks, welcome back to my top 100 games of all time. We are now in the top 40 greatest hits. We're going to start that off here. Before we do though, I wanted to mention that I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm not saying these are really the top games of all time, according to everyone. The idea that this is, in my opinion, always exists. In my opinion, right? Because some people say, well, I can't believe you like that game. It's not really that great. Well, to you, it's probably not that great, but to me, these games are my favorite. And we never try to be subjective here in the Dice Tower, or I'm sorry, objective. We try to be subjective. I'm going to tell you games that I think are fun. That's all I'm looking for in these games. Are they fun? With that being said, let's take a look at games that I think are super fun. Hey, we're going to start talking about Robinson Crusoe. Robinson Crusoe is one of my favorite games because I love the story in it. It's a cooperative game, and it is probably the hardest cooperative game I like. In fact, I know this is kind of embarrassing, I've never won Robinson Crusoe, and I've played with the designer on my team, and we still lost. And you know what? I don't care, because every time I play Robinson Crusoe, I am playing through the story of Robinson Crusoe, or Swiss Family Robinson, or King Kong, or something on a deserted island. It's extremely fun, it's extremely versatile, and I can't wait till the second edition is released, which is very soon. Lots of fun, definitely recommend it. Robinson Crusoe. Number 39 was on my list. This is the first year it's been on my list in 4 years. It kind of floated around for a while, even in my top 200, but the new edition came out which really improved it, and that is Carson City. Carson City had a new deluxe version come out, and I've always liked Carson City because I love the whole Western flair to it. It's not just Wild Wild West in this game, and there's a little bit of Wild Wild West to it, but you're also building a town, and as the game goes by, the different buildings show up. But it's a worker placement game, but you can fight other people's workers, and it's a role selection game where you're going to take a different role each turn, which not only gives you a special ability, but also determines how much money you can keep from turn to turn. There's really a lot going on in this game, and the expansion adds a whole plethora of options, a whole plethora of roles. It's called the deluxe version from Quinted Games. It is spectacular. I love the Western theme. You'll notice that if the game's Western, there's a good chance it'll make my top 100. But also, I love worker placement, also a lot in my top 100. This is a great combination of both. That is Carson City. My number 38 is a game that is brand new, and in fact, isn't even out yet, I think, as the time of me talking about this, although it's going to be out soon. And it's not from a company you would expect to make board games, and that's Riot Games, and the game is Mechs and Minions. Mechs and Minions is a cooperative game. As you can tell, there are many of those on my list. It is a game with beautiful production, and as you can tell, it's something I enjoy on my list. And it has programmable things inside, which I like. This game is amazing. 45 minutes to an hour for each of these missions. The missions feel different. They're very difficult, but they are beatable. Each of the mechs has different abilities. You have this programming where you're putting cards in the line, running through that line, and the production in this game is off the chain. I mean, this game sells for $75 and looks like it's a $200 game. It is unbelievably good. I am really loving on this game, and not just because of the production, because production's production. You know, there's a lot of games with beautiful miniatures, like for example, 40K has beautiful miniatures, but that's not in my top 100. But this game is also fun, and it kind of covers the gamut. Z will play this game with me. Sam likes this game. I haven't played this game with anyone who dislikes it yet. It's easily one of the best games of 2016, and as you can see, also quite high in my top 100. Amazing game, Mechs and Minions. Number 37 has been on my list since the beginning. It has been in my top 10 at times, and that is the game Wallenstein. Wallenstein or its sequel, Shogun. I'm not going to, fight over the death. I like Wallenstein better, but either one could fit in this slot. There's so many things going for it. First and foremost, it has a cube tower. What is a cube tower, you might wonder? A cube tower is a device in which you throw cubes in the top of it and they fall out the bottom, but some of them get stuck in the tower. So if I'm fighting you and I have 6 red cubes and you have 3 blue cubes, we throw them in and I might have more cubes come out, but there is a chance you can win. Now this could be done through dice charts, of course, but the cube tower is much more satisfying, and it does things other games can't do. Like, for example, you can leave cubes, some of the cubes will stay in the tower. Well, they're there for future battles. So I may have lost this battle to you, but in a future battle I might have some, a heads up. And this game isn't all about warfare. You don't even fight that much in the game. Instead, you have these different provinces, and each province you're assigning cards to, so you might be taxing it, you might be harvesting it, you might be moving troops, you might be building buildings in it, and you might be doing nothing in each of these. And so you're trying to control areas. It's like Risk, but Risk done right. It is an amazing, wonderful game, still in my collection, Wallenstein. Okay, well, this is the first year this has been on the list, this game, but it almost made my list last year. Last year it was 105. This year, though, it's fully on board the list, and that is Orleans. Orleans is a bag building game. No, you're not actually building a bag. Pool building game maybe is a better word for it. In Orleans, you have a bag full of chits and these little tiles that you're throwing into the bag. And then you will pull them from the bag, and then you'll place them, which will let you do different actions, which might be getting new tiles to throw in your bag. So it's kind of like a deck of cards, except they're tiles that you pull from a bag. And the different tiles that you pull in different combinations will activate different spots on the board. This game is a lot of fun. It is very, very mechanical. All right, I don't feel like I'm doing anything in this game other than following some mechanics, but those mechanics are very, very strong. It also has a really great expansion. This expansion adds a few things that I can take or leave, but it adds a cooperative element, and I was not willing to believe that a cooperative, heavy Euro bag building game would work, but it does. It's an amazing addition. I don't think you need it. I think Orleans is fun without it, and probably half the time I would play without the expansion, but when you add this expansion in, it is an amazingly entertaining experience. So much fun. Definitely check this one out, Orleans. Now I'm going to talk about one of the most popular games that's come out in the last 10 years, and that is Dominion. Dominion has been as high as #1 on my list, and there's reason for that, because there have been many deck builders, and there are many great deck builders, and yet I find myself coming back to Dominion because it plays like a well-oiled machine. Dominion has had many expansions. I believe there's been 10. I have them all. I like some of them better than others, like Seaside and Prosperity are amazing games. But when it comes down to it, or amazing expansions, Dominion by itself is just, you're playing cards, you're just trying to get an engine built faster than the other players. And that's what I really like about Dominion. I really enjoy trying to look at the set of 10 cards that are out there and saying, how can I win the fastest? It's kind of a race before you beat other people. And so while, yes, it's certainly lacking theme. Anyone who tells you otherwise is justifying the theme in the game. But the game is just exciting, and each time there are so many combinations. Like, what combination's coming out? How am I going to win at this one? It's a lot of fun. Dominion. Okay, so I just talked about a great deck building game. Now let me talk about one I like just as much, or a little bit better actually, and that's Thunderstone, or in this case, probably Thunderstone Advance. Pretty soon they're coming out with Thunderstone 3rd edition, so don't yell at me and say you're talking about this game we can't get. You're right, I know that Thunderstone is out of print, but they are coming out with a 3rd edition, and the 3rd edition is going to put the best way to play Thunderstone, which is Epic Thunderstone. Thunderstone came out and it was kind of like a copy of Dominion with theme. There was a dungeon you could go into, and you were collecting different warriors. Epic Thunderstone, which was started by Richard Launius, and then I actually developed it a little bit farther, was kind of a variant of that where you just used everything. You used all the cards. There wasn't just 10 decks of cards. You're using all sorts of cards. And so it felt like you were a party gearing up and getting weapons. And Advanced Thunderstone built upon Thunderstone. I like Thunderstone, but Advanced Thunderstone made it that much better. And Epic Advanced Thunderstone is my favorite way to play this game. It is a lot of fun. I might play Dominion slightly more because it's so much easier to get to the table, but I think when I play my sessions of Thunderstone Advance, I like them better. There's just so much more going on. It has a strong fantasy theme, a dungeon crawl in essence, with a deck building, and I like deck building. So, like I said, these two games are pretty close, but I really do enjoy Thunderstone Advance. '33 is another game that's been on my list for a long time, and since the beginning, and I don't see it leaving anytime soon, and that is El Grande. Now, El Grande is kind of the grandfather of area control games. Area control games is where you have a spot on the board, and you are different spots on the board that you are trying to control. El Grande is using cubes, so they'll call them caballeros or whatever, and you have grande pieces that move around, and there's a king. But the game is just, it's by itself, it's fine. It's an amazing game. It makes my list by itself. But there's also an expansion, and they just came out with a deluxe version of El Grande that adds in different cards that players can pick at the beginning of the game. It's phenomenal, phenomenal. This is very similar to me just talking about Dominion, right? There are other area control games that have theme and all kinds of cool things. El Grande doesn't have that cool theme. You're controlling Spain for whatever reason. But what makes El Grande great is it just plays so flawlessly. It plays so quickly. It plays so elegantly is the word for it here. And you're using a card and putting them in, and it's mean, okay? You're trying to stop the other players. It also scales very well. I really like it with 3, 4, and 5. The expansion keeps it from ever getting boring. But even without that, I think the game is it's close to like a flawless game. It's the kind of game that if you designed it, I think you could say, I designed El Grande, and everybody can just stop asking you about anything else you designed. That's how good it is. Probably Kramer's best game, El Grande. Number 32 is the first space card game that I had played in a while when it came out, and I was so fascinated by it. It's been in my top 10. It's still a game I like. In fact, it's come down. It was higher on the list, like in the 70s, and now it's dropped down to this spot, and that is Race for the Galaxy. Now, Race for the Galaxy was supplanted a little bit by Roll for the Galaxy. I really like Roll for the Galaxy, but Race for the Galaxy, the card game, which just had the best expansion for it come out this year, the Xeno Shift expansion or whatever it's called, not Xeno Shift, but the Xeno something expansion. There's probably a picture of it here. This expansion for Race for the Galaxy breathes some new life into it, but I always thought Race for the Galaxy was a great game. It's a 2 to 5 player game, but it plays, in my opinion, best with 2 or 3. And while the iconography on the cards is still confusing to new players, and I probably won't play this with people unless they already know how to play the game, I love it. It feels like this fast, oh, what am I going to do here? I'm going to play some cards here. Okay, now I'm going to build these planets. And the fact you can use the cards for different things, it and San Juan came out around the same time. And while I like San Juan a lot, I think that Race for the Galaxy has a much more fulfilling, much more deeper aspect to it. And I like all the different things that come with the expansion. In fact, and this is anathema, I know, mix everything together because who cares? I know that it throws the balance off a little bit, but to me it's just so much more fun to explore and find different things. An excellent game, certainly one on my list, Race for the Galaxy. And another brand new game, it just came out a few months ago, and that is Terraforming Mars. Now honestly, I gotta say that when I first heard about Terraforming Mars, I wasn't expecting the game to be really that spectacular. I knew that it was about Mars. I knew that it was a Euro game. In fact, someone said it was a heavy Euro game, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll like it. I'm not sure I'm going to jump into it that much. But what really brought me into this game was when I played it. Terraforming Mars is amazing, and I just played it a few days ago again. It is so much fun. Terraforming Mars is about, well, terraforming Mars. You're putting oceans and raising the temperature. You're raising the air level of Mars. But you're doing so by playing cards. And every game I played at this, when it's over, I'm like, did I win? I didn't. Who cares? Because I had so much fun playing the game. Now, I'm trying to win, of course, but it's the card combinations of this game. The game lets you play this card, which gives you a unique action, and then when you do this action, maybe this thing will trigger. And as the game goes by, you have more and more combinations. It's a very strong theme, has some pretty neat cube components to it, like silver and gold cubes. And just every time I play it, it feels like a completely different game. This one's probably going to be on my list for a while. That's Terraforming Mars. Okay, we only have 1/3 of the games left after this. Amazing games are coming. Okay, but still, these were some pretty amazing games too. Deck builders and all sorts of fun stuff. So once again, I like to just tell people, these are, of course, my favorite games. They may not be yours, but they're certainly ones I recommend. Try these games out. Have lots of fun playing games. I'm glad that you guys have been watching my Top 100. Stick with it. We're almost done. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. This has been the Top 100 Games of All Time.
Thanks for watching. To see the rest of the Top 100 lists, check out our website at dicetower.com, where you can also find the Dice Tower, the premier podcast about board games. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching
Tom Vasel's Top 100 Games of All Time.